Okay, I explained before that the block on this Floyd Rose is too long. So I have to machine it down. This is an Ibanez bridge. This is 31 millimeters, this block. It's fairly easy to check. Just put that to millimeters. And Ibanez had 37, 34. The original was 37, 34. And then we have 31. This block here is 37. It says right on it. So, but I basically I got to turn this into a 31 millimeter block. So what I'm going to do is I have to machine it. But before I get into it, we're going to explain a few things. Some bridges, like the Ibanez stuff, they set it at the factory where your intonation point. So in that case, I would try to keep this. I also have a jig that I made for when we're all done that I can stick on. Which I make these. I'll make these will be available. Basically, this goes on the nut, and then if you have a guitar, you lay it on the nut. And when the bridge is in there, you have 25 and a half or 24 and 3/4, 25 and a half. And when I sit that there, I'll be able to adjust my saddle so I get them close to where the intonation point is. I start making these, make them available. So you have 24. I make them for bass too, and it's good for making sure everything's on center when you put it together. All right, but at this point, there's two kinds of Floyds. Well, probably more than that, but we're gonna get into the Floyd Rose right now. All right, so we have the Ibanez Floyd Rose. This is die-cast zinc. It's all, you can see it's screwed together. This is actually probably one of the best bridges. This is die-cast zinc also, steel. Now what they do is they cast this. So this bridge plate is staggered for basically a 430 millimeter radius, or 17 inch. So that's staggered already. So they only have one saddle. So their saddles are interchangeable. You can use any saddle with on any piece. Then you have your regular Floyd. This is stamped and then machined and hardened, Rockwell hardened. But this is flat. So because it's flat, they stagger the saddles. So there's three saddles, two high E's, a B and an A, and a G and a D, and they're numbered underneath. I don't want to mess them up. Keep them in order. But again, they don't do the intonation on here. They just push them in there. So in this case, doesn't matter where they are. I'm gonna have to put them back. But I definitely don't want to miss it. I don't want to screw up 1, 2, 3. Even though they are labeled, I'll show you in a minute. So I'm gonna put a piece of tape down here. This is just for my own personal reference here. So I'm going to take these saddles off. So first I'm going to remove these. If it's tight, I have this little wrench. 2.5, is that what it is? 3 millimeters. So I'm going to loosen these up first. Each one of these. I don't want to lose the block either. Once you loosen these, those blocks will fall out. We don't want to lose the blocks. I'm going to remove these. You got to look at the way the bridge is put together. These are interchangeable. Okay. I have a mill, so I'm lucky I can do it. Now I don't want to mess these up. These blocks will fall out, so it's good to have a. I mean, if I flip them upside down, there they go. You don't want to lose them. There's all different kinds of these blocks. So you don't want to lose the ones that came with it. I mean, I have inventory, so I'm okay. Now I'm going to take the saddles off, and I have this wrench here, which is got enough grip on it, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to do them all, loosen them all at the same time. Keep my thumb on there so they don't fall off. What's the tape for? Okay, well the tape is for so I can put them in order. So there's 1, boom, 2, 3, 4. Because you put them in wrong, you got to take it all apart. It's a pain in the butt. All right, now if you look at the bottom of this, I got the one left is my low E. They put, okay, there's a plate here. Ooh, don't lose the plate. The plate works with the springs. Okay. So I got my one saddle. So if you look at the bottom of it, it says 2 right on it. But that's the mold. So don't pay attention to this number. Whatever you do, that's the mold. They have different molds when they make these. Each mold has its own number. So if number 2 mold goes bad, they know that they don't use number 2 and it has to be replaced. So this number could be 1, 2, 3, whatever. That's a mold number. The difference is they drill this hole in the front piece. The back piece is the same. The front piece, this hole is drilled in a different location, which raises it or lowers it. making this thicker or thinner. And they put 2 dots on it. So that's 3.57. There's, if you look at the bottom, you'll see 2 dots. And on this one is your second one. 1 dot right here. See that 1 dot? And that's a 1 mold. That doesn't mean, again, they could have a 2 there. And that dot is the king, because the dot is where your radius comes in. So that's 3.62. And then the last one might not have anything on it, if I remember correctly. This has 2 small little dots. Okay. So you have 2 little dots, and then there's no mold number on there, on this piece. I don't know why. All right, so we got them in order. I don't want to lose them. Okay, whatever I do, don't want to lose my plate. I'm going to take this apart. So that's the same size. We're going to remove this. It's not the same size. Oh, 1 size up. Okay. Now there's another thing. I guess it's called like a spring plate for the intonation, or for the so the fine tuners work, which is right here. And the spring plate goes under here, and there's another piece under here that holds it tight. So when you push down on it, it's like a spring. It pushes back up on the fine tuner bolt. All right, so we're going to take this off, and then I'm going to take it over to the mill. After I get this off here. So when if you take it apart, just keep an eye on how things go. I'm going to show you how to take a top lock down too. Okay, so we're going to take this off, but I can see that there's a spring plate, and there's this flat plate, which holds the spring tight and actually gives it its spring plate goes directly to the back of the I don't know what they call that thing. I would call that a spring plate, and I guess this is a flat plate. So you have your block, which is remember the direction. Floyd Rose is facing the back on this one. 37 millimeters facing the back. I have this is a steel flat plate. And then I have my spring plate. And then the spring plate, because this goes flat on there, this just pushes up on the fine tuners. So I got all my stuff. I'm going to put it in this little thing here, except for my saddles, which are right there. And that's your basic plate. Made in Germany, so he bought like a really good one. Very expensive. One of the best bridges. Again, they stamp it, and they heat treat it, and then they harden. You might not know, if there was no plating on this, you would see it different color right here where the knife edges are. They cut the knife edges, and then what they do on top of that is they heat treat just that area harder, just these 2 areas. I think it's a Rockwell. I'm not sure what the Rockwell is, but I've tested these before when I was in Korea, and I took a Chinese one with a Rockwell, and the pin went almost right through it. And then I had a Floyd. The pin wouldn't even break. Couldn't even crack the just like couldn't go through. Didn't even leave a mark, just in the plating. So, all right. So we have our bridge. We have that, and I'm going to shut this video down, and we're going to move over to the mill, because I'm lucky I have a mill. So I'm going to machine this block down to 31 millimeters, and then we're going to check these. We're going to retap these holes if we have to, because I'm not going to take down this side. I'm going to take down the side that fits onto the block, and I'll explain that. So we're going to move on, and I will be back.